Hey yo, what's up everybody, it's Zane JJ. Have you ever wondered like how do you like set up your own GPU mining farm? And of course, first of all, you do not have a basement, you do not have a balcony, you do not have an extra room, you have wife, you have kids, you have a lot of people living in the apartment itself. And if let's say you put it in the toilet or whatsoever, people might feel that it's inconvenient. And of course, GPU mining itself is very noisy because of the fans and everything. So in this video, we are basically gonna cover through how do you set it up. I mean like I'm going to show you a sneak peek of my setup, and of course what is GPU mining. I'm going to explain it to you, and of course is it still profitable? That's the final question. I mean, that's the question that everybody is asking, because the price of Ethereum is dumping and everything. And of course people might be thinking, oh, I'm just going to switch off my GPU miner, and after that I'm just going to wait for the price to go up 3k or even 5k to start mining again. And of course, how do you set it up without without a lot of room or constraint? I mean, like if you have a lot of constraint, you can't set it up. So I'm going to tell you how do you set it up. So in this video itself, introduction, it's already done. So disclaimer itself, yes, I'm affiliated with some of the program that I'm going to basically mention, like the mining software, not the software, but of course user interface. I would say it's a friendly one, and after that I would say it's HiveOS. So if you want to sign up using my link down below, feel free to do it, and of course it supports the channel, it helps the channel out. So right now I'm going to show you a sneak peek of my mining setup. So if let's say you have not followed me on TikTok itself, feel free to follow me at the SECrypto, and of course on my content itself, I will basically upload like short content from time to time, and after that make a full video to basically express the conclusion behind it, because I feel that sometimes short video itself is good to have, but of course people want to know more about it, so you can come over to my YouTube channel, and of course I upload on YouTube itself to basically try to gain popularity. So if you want to basically help me, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on post notification. And of course right now I'm going to show you a sneak peek on my setup itself. So over here you can see this is a TikTok preview that I've done. So this is the sneak peek that I've done on my TikTok itself. So if you want to just watch it, and over here you can see that I open up the 10, and after that show you guys that what is the GPU inside. So you can see this is a 10, a grow 10 to basically set up the GPU, and after that I explain on the intake, and after that the outflow of the air itself, and after that from there, yes, I'm living in a high-rise building, and of course I would say it's a condo, but of course I would say that if let's say you're living in a HDB, or let's say in a condo, and after that you do not have enough room or space itself, I will basically tell you how do you do it. But of course before that, we're gonna basically jump into the next topic. What is GPU mining? For those who are new to this space itself, the crypto space, you heard about GPU mining, people making like tons of money, and after that from there, how can you be one of them? Basically mining GPUs, and after that mining Ethereum with GPU. So right now we're going to talk about what is GPU mining. So over here for GPU mining itself, is for starters itself, is basically a graphic card that you use on your PC to basically watch videos or edit videos or whatsoever. Like you buy the 3060 Ti, you buy the 3090 Ti, the most latest GPU itself, and after that from there, you know that your GPU that is lying in your PC itself, you can mine it, and of course you can mine it using nice hash if you want to. And of course I would say that mining it itself, you can basically generate some passive income through your hardware itself. And of course I would say, let's say you only have 1 or 2 GPU itself, I would say that the setup is very easy to do it. But of course if let's say you have more than, like you're going to set up a 6 rig or whatsoever, you need to have a bigger space, you need to basically have lots of I would say technical skill to basically set it up. And of course basically GPU itself, it is software that you can use for editing. I mean the GPU itself you can use for editing, and after that you can do a lot of stuff with the GPU, and of course gaming as well. And of course lastly, for the most utility, I would say as of now for GPU itself, is mining. So mining itself is basically running a software, and after that from there it will using the software, it will start to basically hash the algorithm, and from there from time to time you will basically join the mining pool, and of course everybody works together in a pool and basically hitting a block, and after they get rewarded as a pool together. If let's say you are YOLO and after that you want to gamble your money away to basically do a solo mining, yes, you can do a solo mining. So for Ethereum itself, you can do a solo mining, and of course from there you can gain like 2 Ethereum if let's say you hit a block or so. So I would say the chances of hitting a block itself is very, very slim, and of course you need to have a lot of mining power to basically hit a perfect block. And after that I would say that like maybe you have a 6 GPU rig or even 12, it can't even hit a block, so don't bother trying. And of course I believe that some of you guys might have watched content like, oh, people hit 1 block using 1 GPU, and of course I would say yes, it is not possible, but of course the chances is very slim if you talk about probability. But of course it is pure gambling if let's say you are going to do like a 1 GPU or maybe 6 GPU to basically mine. And after that from there, we're going to talk about the profitability So over here to get this answer itself, is this still profitable? So if let's say you are a layman, you want to know about your ROI and everything, so I will tell you that in GPU mining or crypto mining itself, the numbers itself, really your ROI is really depending on how much you can hold, how long can you hold, and after that, do you have the balls to continue? So I would say, first of all, people will head over to the what to mine, basically a mining calculator to basically enter the GPU you want to buy, and after that, it will give you like for Ethereum itself 60 mega hash and the power of 140, and of course, you want to enter your electricity cost. So on average itself 0.15 maybe, and after that you're gonna do a profitability by 7 days average, which I like to do because 24 hours itself is too short of a period to basically see the outcome. And of course over here the average rewards itself, revenue, I would say average last 7 days, just hit on calculate. And of course if let's say you use a 3060 Ti itself, on average itself, if you are mining Ethereum, you are getting like around 0.60, you are getting like 62 cents of profit after electricity. So I would say for your revenue profit itself, if let's say your electricity is totally free and you are basically leeching off your parents, or let's say you are leeching off the school dorm or whatsoever, you want to set up a GPU rig, you can basically try to do that, but of course do not get caught. And after that, I would say you are getting a full profit of like $1.12 for basically 3060 Ti, and after that the price of one 3060 Ti itself for Sing dollars itself is around 700 to 766 onwards, or 750. And of course, to be honest, if let's say you're mining GPU itself, the model itself does not really matter, because you will want to try to avoid getting the Hynix memory. And of course I would say go for the Samsung memory one. So if you want to know more about it, just dig into the brand itself, just type it, and after that you can see that what is the memory, what is the model of the memory. And after that, from there, I would say Hynix itself will not be able to let you push the overclock settings higher and higher, but of course on Samsung itself we can push it as high as possible. On YouTube itself, you see people like pushing it to like 2500 or something like that. It is possible on the Samsung memory, but of course if you buy a GPU itself, you have to know that the GPU itself, it is basically depending on basically the chip manufacturer. And of course there's this thing called the silicon lottery. Basically people who bought the GPU, and after that some of the GPU might give you a different result here and there because your chip manufacturer itself is not that efficient. And of course, let's say you get a good chip itself, you are basically getting more hash rate out of it. So I would say on average itself, the prices, which model itself does not really matter. Just go for the Samsung memory one. So over here you can see that one mining itself is going to give you like $1.12, but of course the GPU is going to cost you $700 in Sing, and of course if you want to convert it to US dollar, around 600. So I would say around 600 plus for the 3060 Ti. And after that, from here you can see the mining profit itself is $1.12 in US dollar. But of course if let's say you are mining it in like Bitcoin or Ethereum itself, you are getting a reward of 0.009 Ethereum, and after that converted to today's price itself, and it is showing you this amount. So here some of you guys might be thinking, looking at the numbers itself, you are going to take like 600 days or even 2 to 3 years to ROI. But of course I would say the numbers itself here definitely scares you during the bear market itself. Just think about it, everything is falling. Buying a hardware, why not I just buy Ethereum and hold it? But of course I would say there's two types of strategy to play this long-term game itself. First of all, you want to have some passive income. Yes, passive income itself, you can set up a GPU mining rig, and after that, from there, it will just generate you some passive income. And of course, I would say electricity cost itself is gonna basically affect you. If let's say you are living in an area which is less than 15 cents, that's definitely it's cheap to mine. If let's say it's more than 20 cents, not really ideal to mine. But of course, ultimately itself, the strategy over here for my GPU mining passive income is basically, first of all, whatever I'm going to mine, I'm not going to sell it off. I am going to hold whatever it is on whatever I mine, and after that, from there, when I wait for the price of Ethereum maybe goes up to 3,000 or even 5,000 or even 9,000 or 10,000 in the future, I will see which price which is the best for me to sell, and after that, from there, I can straight away recoup all of my initial investment in the US dollar / Sing dollar. And of course over there you can basically look at the strategy as this way. Basically whatever you're mining, whatever you're paying off electricity, just record it down somewhere, and after that, from there you can look at your price target for your mining operation. If let's say you have you are interested in getting one. And of course, I would say profitability wise, bear market itself, people are discouraged to buy GPUs. And after that, I would say the price of GPU itself definitely has been like falling since last year, I would say. And after that, eventually it will keep falling and falling. And of course, if let's say you want to get a good one, just basically do your own research. And of course, for my case, I get a 3060 Ti because I would say that from what I know of, and after I done the research, basically 3060 Ti is somehow slightly cheaper. And after that, I would say for efficiency wise itself is damn good. Basically the watt towards the mega hash. And of course, if you want to mine itself, do not go to like buy the 3090 Ti, and after that from there, like, yes, this is a monster, you can get a lot of mega hash out of it, but of course how much electricity it's gonna consume is really one of the questions you must ask yourself before you buy it, because ultimately you are paying additional costs on the electricity despite like getting your mining revenue. So I would say efficient miner itself is the best option to go for. So you want to do your own research before you jump into this wagon itself. So right now I'm going to talk about how do you set up your mining rig itself if let's say you do not have a lot of space, do not have a basement, blah blah blah. So for my kids itself, I set it to on the balcony itself, buying a freaking grow tent which cost me like $100 over, and after that exhaust fan, and after that from there the what is this called, the dart fan or the aluminium thingy. So over here, this is how I set it up. Basically set it on my balcony. If let's say you don't have a balcony, you can put it into a room that let's say there's nobody sleeping in it. And of course I would say if let's say you want to put it at your living room, yes, you can put it at your living room, but of course note that the sound itself is going to affect somehow your whole room itself. Therefore I put it at the basement, I mean the balcony. And of course from where am I is basically next room, basically it's the living room, and after that the balcony. And after that I would say in my room itself, I do not really hear the sound, and after that I would say it is not going to affect other people or top down or top or below. So I would say it is safe to go. And of course some pictures itself, so I set it up is basically over here at the side of my balcony, and after that from there draw one aluminum tube itself. This over here is the outflow, and after that the inflow is this. So the mistake that I've made basically on setting up in this GPU rig itself is basically having an intake, basically using an exhaust fan to pull in the air itself. But of course, to be honest, you do not need to do that, because whatever it is, the negative energy, the negative pressure itself in the tent itself blowing outwards, open a hole, and after that the air will just go in. So this is one of the trick that I found to basically manage your airflow in the grow tent itself. And of course the air have to go in from the bottom. So much this type of content itself, I'm going to do it in the next video itself. So over here just basically summarize of the setup. So over here, this is the setup. I have 3 GPU that is running over here. So the top one itself is not my GPU, it's basically a friend, and after that I'm here hosting it for him. And of course if let's basically this over here is a 12 rig, and after that over here this is 3060 6 rig, and after that over here total I have around 18 GPUs, and after that mining and hashing itself. So you can see I put one fan over here, and after that another fan at the other side, which I'm going to show you to you. So over here this is the setup. If you tilt your head a bit, and after that you can see that this over here is the ventilator that is pushing the hot air out, and over here this is another ventilator pushing the hot air out, and after that over here this is just additional fan to basically blow on the 12 rig itself. So to be honest, the 12 rig setup, the rig itself is not really ideal for airflow itself, because the gaps towards the GPU itself is kind of small. And after that in the middle itself it gets very hot because of the side GPU accumulating all the heat up. And after that from there, basically you need to have account all this kind of costs. Basically let's say you want to do a grow tent setup, you need to buy a grow tent, you need to buy a shelf, you need to buy 2 vents, and after that I would say the fans and blah blah blah, and of course the GPUs as well. So over here I would say the setup itself, am I happy with it? Definitely. Just going to show it to you. Okay, so over here this is the rigs that I'm really mining on, and after that so over here this is the rig that is mining, and after that you can see that the highest that I get is around 73 degree. And after that, to be honest, I'm in Asia, and I would say that the area here itself is not really cold. We do not have like winter, spring or autumn, we only have summer over here. So over here every day is hot, and after that I would say that putting a grow tent itself really helps with the heat management, because if let's say you're living with a lot of people in your house or whatsoever, you do not want to put it in the room, because if you put it in the room itself, this room itself is useless, and after that you can't really host anyone for the room itself. And if let's say you buy a 2-room or 3-room apartment, definitely the rooms are going to be little. If let's say you have kids, you can't really put it in with him, because I would say that the heat itself, people got heat stroke by sleeping with the miner, and of course I do not know if he died or whatsoever, but heat stroke can lead to death. So I would say for my case, buy a grow tent and after that put it on the balcony. If let's say you have a room and after that it is a working room for you to basically do your work or whatsoever, you can definitely put it in your room itself. But of course the heat itself, you will need to basically vent it out to the window, and of course not in the room, because if let's say you're going to do that, why not you just don't buy a grow tent, just let it out and after that in the open air. So I would say over here, I would say the setup itself is ideal, and of course grow tent itself is the best option that I have. And of course if let's say you are in a constrained space or whatsoever, you want to try out this grow tent technique itself, feel free to go ahead. But of course there's some tips from other people, like okay, your vent itself, don't put it in the miner itself, like don't put it in the grow tent itself, because it's going to generate additional heat. To be honest, I do not have much choice to it, because if let's say you have a basement, definitely you can put it outside of a grow tent and after that just duct both of the aluminium from the tent itself to the window. But of course unfortunately do not have the luxury of space, so I would say this over here is the ultimate / the best I can do for my mining setup. And of course I would say in the noon itself is getting, the heat that I'm seeing is kind of pretty hot. For my 12 rig itself, you can see it's 70. So I would say from research itself, people say that your miner itself, try to keep it as below 70 degree. But of course yeah, definitely 75 to 80 itself, yes, you still can mine, and after that it will not really damage your card. But of course if let's say your heat is more than 80, definitely there's something you need to do about. And after that over here, the next topic, should you get started in mining if you're interested. So over here for my case itself, I have been holding on to my urge to mine for almost 3 years since the start of Bitcoin mining. Since the start of my crypto mining, my crypto experience since 2017, I actually stepped foot into the ASIC mining business, and after that from there eventually flipped some money through the ASIC mining. But eventually I lost interest in it because I wanted to host it in my house, and of course I'm a geek person, and after that I want to basically try to set up hands-on and everything. So eventually I bought the GPUs and of course bought a rig off somebody, and of course at a cheaper price. And after that eventually I would say that yes, I got into this field itself. But of course people are saying that yeah, stupid, the Ethereum 2.0 is finished and everything, the Ethereum 2.0 is coming. But of course, to be honest, if let's say you're gonna start mining right now, I would say take note that right now Ethereum itself is transiting towards the proof of stake. So Ethereum itself, once it's transit to proof of stake, which is around 70 over days, September if I'm not wrong, you will not able to mine Ethereum. But of course there's still other coins that you can mine using the GPU. And of course the next one that I'm looking at is basically Flux. And of course I would say that if let's say you do not want to buy the hardware, you do not have technical skill itself, feel free to basically contact me on Discord or Telegram or Facebook or TikTok or whatsoever. You can try to contact me, and after that I'll do my best to assist you if let's say you are interested in getting into this mining business. But of course if let's say you do not, I would say some of you guys might be thinking, why not just buy Ethereum, it's better off. Yes, definitely you can do that, but of course take this strategy as a passive income, and of course a dollar cost averaging. So the dollar cost averaging is basically paying the electricity bill from month to month, and after that from there instead of buying the whole Ethereum itself, you can basically generate Ethereum through your rig, and after that from there it is a one-time investment to basically buy the GPUs. And after that the next step itself is to dollar cost average, paying the electricity bill. And of course I would say eventually if let's say you no longer want to mine or whatsoever, GPU itself, there is always a market for it. Basically you can do a resell, you can sell it to the gamers or whatsoever. So I believe that there's always a value in GPU itself compared to the ASIC itself. The value fluctuates very fast depending on the market itself. So I would say if let's say you want to get started itself, feel free to go and do your research. And after that I would say that if you want to get started itself, I would say SECrypto itself is one of the GPU mining growth 10 YouTuber that I know of. And after that from there I have like basically watched this video and eventually know that you do not need to get the air in. So if you want to learn more about it, you can head over to his channel. It is much more advanced. I would say there's much more content about it. So on my channel itself, I'm still trying to slowly grow and make contents about this GPU mining. So this is somehow like the first ever video that I show on my sneak peek. And after that from there I would say eventually I'm gonna guide you guys through on how do you like set it up, explain the mining software, and after that eventually the overclock settings here and there. So I would say if you want to know more about this type of content, feel free to subscribe to my channel, turn on post notification, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye bye, peace.